you are lucky enough to have the talent, like that's fine, but it's not everything. Consistency, it's so very important. And of course, mindset as well is very important because your personality is your personal reality, literally, in that sense.
Well, I 100% agree with you because you take the words out of my mouth in the sense that if we had to put numbers on it, the mindset would be number one. Because through mindset is leading to consistency. You cannot achieve, you can be consistent, but if your mind is not in it and you're not putting the power of belief into that consistency, it's maybe not resulting exactly in where you want. The talent is a massive plus for your career. But if your mindset or your consistency is not there, then it's no use. Every moment that you're in, it's a unique moment. So the reminder would be to really try to grasp that moment to its full potential. And doubt is the brakes that doesn't let you get there. So take the doubt and put it aside and go for it, because it will never return this moment. Be courageous, be courageous. Don't compare yourself to others. It's very unique for each individual. And the clarity will come through trusting yourself, and the creativity will be born from taking away the pressure.
Hello to everyone. Today we will talk about creativity, leadership, self expression, resilience, conscious career choices, and what it means to build a meaningful creative life in Denmark. I have the pleasure, immense pleasure, and I'm so honored to have with me today my dearest Valeriya Olkhova, which is a designer, creative entrepreneur, lecturer, and founder working at the intersection of emotional textiles, sustainability, and artistic expression. This conversation will explore how creative leadership, like she is, self awareness, and consistency as well, can turn vision into a lived reality. Welcome, Val. Welcome. So happy to have you, girl.
Thank you so much. I would like to say thank you for inviting me and a big hello to your audience. And I hope that this conversation dialogue will be meaningful and bring some value to your audience. I'm looking forward.
Yeah, thank you. Do our best for sure. I'm gonna start with a powerful question. Very personal, very emotional, yeah, strong. What first drew you into fashion and textile world, and what made you choose this industry over any other?
hmm Well, I think I have been a creative ever since I can remember myself, desiring to create beauty and explore emotion in different mediums and manipulation of the things that are in front of you. It's a form of like self exploration and understanding of self growth. Actually, the fashion industry is not the industry that I chose originally at first. It was a natural progression to go to Chelsea University of Arts in London, where I studied textiles. And even though I applied for Central St. Martin's, my decision stuck with the textile exploration.
Wow.
Yes, and furthermore, my specialism was stitch. After some years of going towards a specialism, and due to the high demand of the tutor, one day I just spontaneously switched to knitwear and never looked back.
This life.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes you take an impulse and it takes you onto another turn, right? So, yeah. And my first brand, Waft, it was born both out of having a voice and having a very particular understanding of what I wanted to say, but also the lack of opportunities that fitted my skill set. So
That's how.
that's well, such as very specialized, very innovative knitwear. Because, for example, in many fashion companies in Denmark, uh, especially the ones that are not commercial, their people that are hired will be the most essential roles. And my role is not essential in the context of a commercial brand. So it was born like that. And yes, and after London, I mm, briefly was in Ukraine where I met Anne-Sophie Madsen. She, with open arms, invited me to Denmark, and that's how I ended up in Denmark, having never visited before.
Okay.
So yes, it was a really, really spontaneous decision to come and do some internship work for her.
Val, when exactly was that?
Oh, this must be around 13 years ago, something like that. More, a bit more than 13 years ago. Yes, something like this. And after Anne-Sophie, I ended up working with Barbara Gongini. And for multiple seasons, I worked with her. And this is where the textiles within those two, they started to go into the fashion world. Oh yes, in between I also interned with Obscure, another another avant-garde brand. But I have always attempted to bring the textile approach and the way I tackle that mm, making, creating, and the designers that would make the bigger collections, they would find a way to put it in. So it was never my intentions to be making bigger collections or making a collection of garments. I can in the creativity, but it's not 100% where my passion lays. Yeah. Hmm.
So you are selling all over the world, or you are just creating garments like for specifically as a target group for Danish people? I'm just curious.
We are working with the international community. Denmark and Danish client has been a growing client, but it was never 100% like a limited focus. Yes, because being an open-minded creative, I don't know. I feel many designers they would start being strong with the business. You start being strong local with your domestic,
Yeah.
but we went to Paris and work with international shops. Yeah.
Did the desire to create something from the scratch always lived in you, or did this emerged like at a specific moment in your life?
I think it always lived in me. Yes. I remember always fiddling with bits and bobs, putting something together. I think actually, as we're talking now, it comes down, it's rooted in the capacity to see beauty in the other places and beauty and perception of beauty, triggering the inspirational factor to combine it into something new. Yeah, and exploring and discovering materials, skill sets, building your palette of tools. Um, yeah, it's always been in me, and it was further developed when I joined forces with my partner, who is also a major creative.
Your partner and your husband as well.
Oh, my husband, yes, absolutely, yes. Unique combination.
Well, when someone asks you, what do you do? What feels most true for you today?
Hmm. Well, um, my key points would be explore, expand, and reimagine because
Because I know very well that you are many things as the person over here. Yes.
exactly, exactly. What you do can transform, but it's a constant evolution of a new version of me and building to the next chapter. I feel like it's a flow. So I'm still creating, of course, and I'm having the business, of course, but a lot more work is happening internally. So shifting between the hats, shifting as a creator, as a business owner, about who I am in this world, to who I am for myself, what I want to do, what is true and honest in my investment of energy and personal evolution, both in the material world, but also holistic and esoterical world. What kind of blueprints am I putting out? I feel that one frame or one hat would be a limitation. So I try, yes, I can say creator, artist, but when I start putting these labels and frameworks, it's almost feeling like a little bit of a limitation. but it is within this field, within this segment. So exploring and reflecting and reshaping and building. And these days is a lot less, we are conditioned to be goal driven in our society.
We are, yeah,
So,
constantly, and it's such a huge pressure on us, everyone included,
yes,
and nobody excluded. And it's really a high demand expectation from our
yes.
society currently nowadays. And that's why also now I don't have the numbers literally, physically, but I know and I'm certain that a lot of people, this is a major why a lot of people are struggling with depression, with anxiety, and so many other mental illnesses that actually currently right now it's raising quite high, and it's concerning, and that's the whole point. So
Absolutely, but a goal-driven society keeps a person, an identity, very much occupied, and it creates it's too much occupation, and it creates too much distraction to listen to the inside, to the internal world, and the way time is moving, it has just shifted. So it's very essential that we are living more in the moment, living more in the day, and becoming aware, listening to inner voice, listening to how the world is reflecting our status. It's just a different playing field.
yeah, because as you just mentioned this a second ago, Val, we really should relearn, and someone might learn even to go with the moment quo. I have also used this in previous podcast episode, but I'm not gonna be tired on repeating myself, even though I dislike repeating myself, but in this case it's worth it to just really sometimes pause, reflect, being aware, and embrace this self awareness of as much as you can, because you cannot and nobody can just to be self aware like 100% of everything regarding your emotional state, psychological state, or energy state, or whatever that, or physical state, whatever that might be. So, but it's an inner word process. That's the whole thing. This is the keyword process that you have to be willing to do, and willing to embrace it and stay with it, stick with it, not just like randomly sometimes when you have time. Guys, this is an excuse. Make time, because the time, if you want to, you do have that time for yourself. It's just self learning, it's just self love, it's just self respect, and self awareness, and so many other things. If you want all that, then just don't complain. Do something about it. And again, it's a loop, isn't it, Belle?
It's a loop, absolutely. And I mean, it's a question of values and priorities. And as we know, any habit is made within 21 days. So it's a question of reshaping and remodeling your neurological pathways to understand what is an actual value. If we are focusing only on the outside, say a goal of achievement, we are forgetting to check in. Our body has answers, our extra senses have answers, intuition, all these factors that play into how we move through the world and how we shape our, well, reality, how we shape our life, right?
Yeah.
So, if we're forgetting to tune in and forgetting to check in with all these signals, maybe we are taking the doors that are massive detours for our goals, and we're forgetting to be in the moment and to actually enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Expand that palette.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you creation right now in this current phase of your life?
Um, there are many layers you can answer
Yeah,
this
yeah, sure,
question.
sure. Well, I imagine, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. But shaping and forming something from one state to another, like number three in numerology, is a creation where after black and white there is a birth of something, right?
Yeah.
And that is also about shifting the perspective from the dual, from the black and white. And in my world, creation apart from the obvious of creating beautiful, functional things, objects, garments, inspirations, is very much about being a co-creator in your life and really watching your, your frequency field, because from that you are then materializing and creating something that is physical. It's about creating structures and patterns also in your life. This is what I mean by co-creator.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask you about that, just for others to understand what actually you might mean by that. Yeah, because everyone has their personal, I don't know, perspective about it or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
For example, if you choose to prioritize yourself and self-love, you are co-creating with your reality in a way where you are investing time to self-care and rest and recuperate and stay in silence to tune in to your intuition rather than be concerned by deadlines, things
External factors. Yeah.
external factors, exactly, things like that. But on the physical level, we are creating a new universe at the moment called Apotheca Atelier.
Okay.
Very,
So
very
just
exciting.
for others to understand, Val, Voft, it's your personal brand, which is main focus. And then, as far as I know, you create this new brand with together with your husband, artist slash husband, right? Leo Lewis, Apotheca. Am I right?
Well, I would say that, I perceive all parts of all chapters as relevant in that moment in time that they are made. So Roft was extremely relevant for my voice in my 20s. It's still relevant. It's still very much relevant, and it speaks to the community and the
But in
clients.
a different way for you, because you get if we change, so also our identity change, of course, and beliefs, values, etc. constantly. So
Voft was a very much like a focused on a particular product. It focused very specifically on certain structures, um, which are
like what? Like what? That
like
for others to understand.
yes, it's a very stretchy
Oh, okay.
garments that are designed and engineered. They're constructed to shape within your body. So it was designed to empower the femininity
Wow.
and to be extremely lightweight and multi stylable, like interactive design. So kind of avant-garde lingerie, outerwear, depending on how you are engaging with it, but very specifically for women and a lot of bustiers. I have a little cute garment here.
Oh, okay. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Well, the idea is that it's a piece that will take on the shape of your body. It will adapt to the figure and elevate what is already there. It's not about
Ooh, I love
changing,
it.
you know. It's not about changing or deforming or restructuring. It's extremely easy wear for women because, as we all know, the feminines that we made in our fast-paced society that we have been part of. We need also convenience and easy wear and something that you can throw on real quick and you are put together.
Yeah.
Where you don't need to think about, you don't need to try another version, another shape. You just put it on, and whatever you put on top, it will look great because it's just shaping everything right.
I would, I don't know why it just pumped into my head two keywords very powerful: acceptance and comfortable. Like, in that sense, comfortable in your skin, comfortable in your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So that was Waft, and of course it's always relevant. It's always relevant. But as we are no, but as you are evolving, other forms of expression become more relevant too, because your curiosity is expanding all the time.
Yeah.
Or it's about expanding the systems that you work in, or what kind of voice maybe feels relevant for a bigger audience, for example, for male as well, right? What is working for the zeitgeist of today?
We understood what Vaft was and is still nowadays, currently. Then why you have created with your beautiful artist slash husband, Leon Lewis, Apotheca then?
Yes.
And what is it, of course?
Yes. Well, it is an expanded voice. I look at it that Waft is almost like a fraction, is a fraction of the universe that we are building now. Why? Because it feels relevant. Because we co-create together, and that universe is broader, is much broader, and is the voice of the voyager, is the traveler, where the proposed identity is stable, but it's mutable.
Okay.
So it's like it's still empowered by the elevated experience of the garment. That is a key factor, I think, and focuses a lot on the frequency of materials and how everything is put together to create this ritualistic, elevated experience, because we are so bombarded by over choice today, that just like we took on a personal level, for ourselves, and where we put our attention, it's the same as a creator. What do you put out? Selected, more concentrated, carefully curated um, items that focus on functionality, durability, and interactive design, of course.
Everything is handmade, handcrafted, isn't it, Val?
Well, we work also with Portugal, where we are outsourcing some garments. But yes, at the moment, we have shifted a lot of the development into in-house, because you really need to be on it, hands on, to develop something where you can stick, you know, where you are content with the level of the craft. So this is what's happening. And just to say a few more words about Apotheca, it will be like a morphing of beautiful elegancy, like in terms of the aesthetics. Yes, and protective modern armor. So items that can create the feeling of you of being shelled and protected, which I believe to be quite a valuable mm, aspect in today's world you know just like in the Wolf, you have the protectiveness from feeling secure and empowered. This is going outer, this is going further from the body, and is another type of protective armor. uh yes, and playfulness, a little bit more poetic, avant-garde techniques, slow living. So Apotheca will not be releasing every season big collections. It will be to taking on another structure. We are creating worldwide because your audience that gets it, just like with your audience, is not positioned in one local area.
Yeah, yeah,
And with
exactly.
today's world, with online and possibility to travel, you
Yeah.
have the reach, because it I don't I, hopefully many people will understand and connect to it. But as we know, in the fashion industry, people are still very much in transition. They are still very much driven by price, and
Yeah. Miss the reality.
the mindset has to shift, and it's slowly getting there. But they need to kind of shift and retrain to understand, okay, durability and quality, where I invest where something lasts for many years, maybe a decade, 2 decades. There is a different initial investment.
Yeah, yeah. Well, regarding this part of the topic, how do you personally see the fashion industry currently versus, I don't know, like 10, 15 years ago? How do you see it personally? Because you have just mentioned earlier about this shifting fashion shifting methods or ideas, mindsets, even the fashion itself and the wearing, and then the expression of the fashion industry. uh, there are so many things because I noticed as well, so I was wondering how you personally see all these changes.
Well, of course, my perception is biased through the filter of my bubble, but
Mhm.
we are seeing some tendencies, such as the younger generation. They are not responding to the marketing type where everything has been super polished with the product. Like
Mhm.
our generation, we are used to the marketing where the product and everything is presented in a very polished, clean way, where
Mhm.
it's sleeked out and it's perfect. It's silent. Actually, the marketing it's loud in other ways, but the younger generation, they're not responding to it. They want things that are more real, and they're doing the research, and they are sort of, as you say in Danish, "vælge." They are choosing away from that mass consumption of big brand names.
Mhm.
They're choosing based on different values. Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
because
Mhm.
they are forming. They are political, in my opinion. Um, Not political in a way where they look specifically at the politics, but the
Mhm.
politics of economy or politics of consumerism.
Yeah, yeah, I agree on that. Yeah, yeah. Definitely, we have different needs, that different values for sure, different social living and life, and needs and beliefs and dreams.
Absolutely, absolutely. But a few comments in regards to what you're saying. We are seeing an emerge of many young designers popping up, young brands, smaller brands, and it's very different. Like when I was a
Exactly.
student, we were looking at big fashion houses where at the head of the fashion house was the head designer that got all of the praise all of
Mhm.
the praise. And what we can see different with these younger designers, you speak a little bit about identity. Yes, um, they are in many ways more inclusive,
Mhm.
inclusivity of versatility. Yeah. And
Mhm.
they are looking for like a belonging to a tribe. So in that way, I, I think it's important to look at the younger generation as a reflector of the Zeitgeist, because they have the flexibility to pick up the tendencies that are happening
Mhm.
within the society.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Even though we can have a challenge, maybe working with them because they have a different working, what's the word,
Perspective.
perspective or
Yeah.
flow, exactly. But
Mhm.
actually they have a lot to say with that. So it's again, if we're looking beyond, oh, it should be done like this because it was done like this always. So I think, yeah, I think it's a very interesting time, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
They're
so too. Yeah.
choosing by values, the upgrading, upcycling, they much more broader, maybe. They're not looking so much for status objects. The status is focusing on self-evolution and what is true for themselves, rather than, okay, I have a branded bag and therefore I have a particular status. They are operating on totally other form of values, and that is really fascinating.
Does this spirituality, your personal spirituality, it is part of what you do, Val? Because I know, because I know you, but besides that, also for others who doesn't know you, uh, how much this spirituality, when I mean and use this word spirituality, I'm not mean that you're religious or whatever. Spirituality, it's another thing. Religion, it's another thing. It's
Absolutely.
how much it is included, could include it into your professional life as a creator, as an entrepreneur, as a professional. I mean, it's like it doesn't help you being so spiritual as such, and being so, passionate about energy, universe, and I don't know, meditation and self-reflection, self-awareness. How much does actually all these beautiful elements help you into your professional part?
Well, I would say that I would like to say they are completely intertwined. I
Mm-hmm.
would like to say, but I have mm, the benefit of being independent.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not forced on daily basis to put on a mask and go and work for Uncle
Yeah.
Sam or Uncle
It is a
Bob.
blessing, to be honest. Yeah,
Well,
exactly. See, an entrepreneur, I have this freedom totally.
it's a blessing, but it's a blessing that how do I say is a result of the choices that
Yeah,
each person
exactly.
makes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not about luck. It's
yeah.
about choices in
I
life. But
agree. Yeah.
you know, so intertwined. But I would like to say so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I try to think about it on all of these levels. It's sort of the interface is connected for me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So looking back, what moment shaped your path as an artist and entrepreneur, actually?
Mm. Well, possible to pin one moment. No, it's impossible. It's like a butterfly, but I mean, all the experiences that shape the next steps for you, and mm, trying to stay true to my motions and choices is the things that is shaping your everyday result. And reflection, right? Is it aligned with your belief system? Is it fitting within your boundaries and your choices? Has direct consequence on your path. So it's like a drop by drop, you're building a castle. And maybe one day you will take a door to the right and it will take you on another journey. So branches of possibilities.
Mm-hmm. No.
uh, but I would say one thing for sure is that I've never worked within the commercial, directly 100% commercial part of the industry in the sense of my own personal work. We do also agency work as helping some other brands and consulting and helping them produce with the factory. So in that way, I touch that part of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the personal journey has been very much in the avant-garde. And why, you could ask that? I think it comes from desiring to trigger um, something within the user and consumer so that the experience is deeper than just here's the garment, you wear it for a week, you throw it away, because the body of work, the package that follows in creating something is so vast and the consumer is completely unaware.
Yeah, I agree. We talk here about a keyword that I will use is overconsumptions, and the people nowadays, a lot of people, not people, a lot of people still they are not aware of, or slash if they are aware of some of them, they still continue on that path of over consuming, even though they might need it or whatever. They don't recycle. So it's just sad sometimes. Yeah.
But it's like a slow design, idea of slow design. What was slow design? It was way ahead of its time in the thinking. 13 years ago, it was sort of very avant-garde, and it's in a way anti-business because if you're making slow, if you're creating slow, you're not aiming to sell like that unless
Yeah.
your audience is extremely big and your capacity allows it. So it's a different way of working.
Well, I have a really important question because here among our listeners, there are many, not only Danish people, but very much internationals. So this is really important, an important question. How did moving countries change the way you see yourself? Because it's so important. Here it's about identity loss or gain or regain or reshape identity. Identity transition, this is the keyword, identity transition, because we are all of us going through identity transitions during our life path, but particularly when you move into new countries, often or sometimes you have this identity transition that is so very much focused on and into present into your life. It's part of it, of that transition, of that experience in particular. So that's why I'm asking this. a really special question because it's very important for many internationals to kind of feel that they are not alone in that, in those with those feelings, with those ideas, with those misconceptions, even doubts.
Mm. I mean, I
It's a
have
hard
run
one,
off.
isn't it?
It's a little it's hard in the sense that it's I believe like what you say is true. We are changing and evolving always, but some things to keep in mind for this is that uh it's like a new turf. You're in a new territory, and mm, unless you emerge in at least an understanding of this new territory, remain an outsider in your mind.
Oof.
You know,
Yeah.
because it's slightly different things if you're an outsider socially perceived or it's in within you.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been living abroad since the age of 10, so it's kind of a very normal status. I don't know how else that is. But my idea was always, you need to familiarize yourself with where you are because no matter what is going to push you out of your comfort zone. And
Mm-hmm.
of course,
That's a good one.
knew everything, right? And
Yeah.
luckily in Denmark, one can build a good life just on English.
Mhm.
One can. But knowing the local language really levels up your cards. I'm gonna say.
So, what part of your identity did you have to rebuild after relocating to Denmark at this point?
I think it was just a morphing into different aspects of myself. I can't say rebuilt because I never lost anything. It was just a continuation for a new chapter for me.
Mm.
So I don't think rebuilding, maybe forming something new would be a more correct way for true for me to look at it. Um, Creating roots locally, discovering yourself within this context, within these social ways. Um, yeah.
What stayed constant inside you, even when everything around you changed?
Just to say, like, going back a second into the identity rebuilding, and
Mhm.
I'm moving back. It's mm, the language part is really. I've got to say, I want to reiterate.
One.
I want to reiterate it because I think I didn't make a strong enough point that the curiosity to want to understand the culture and the people that you are surrounded by. If you don't have the language, you really are missing so many nuances of that culture. And as you're discovering them, you're discovering yourself. It's like peeling an onion.
Okay.
So um, that moment when you listen to a Dane at a social setting and you catch that joke that is totally not translatable to.
That is humor, guys, for but even everyone who is not Danish or who never came in Denmark or had to deal in a sense, connect with the Dane as such. The Danish humor, it's so unique. It's so damn
Really?
original and unique. Oh, but seriously, that's awesome. That's really crazy how different it is compared to many other countries. Literally,
Exactly.
yeah.
And like each country has that part that is unique.
Yeah.
And in terms of what stays constant, yes, it's like the backbone, the drive, the energy, your values, which can of course shift, but your core, your backbone is in a way really important to maintain as a constant. The curiosity, the drive, the capacity to see beauty in unusual places,
Yeah.
to build meaningful things. I think that is no matter where I am in the world will be part of the identity. Yeah.
So, what inner skills matter most to you in building your career? Talent, mindset, or consistency, or all three of these elements?
All of the three. Yes.
Is there one of these three elements that actually uh, raise the rate of the importance that you give to that particular element? Might be again talent, mindset, or consistency. Which one is on the first place, which one is on the second, and which one is on the third place for you personally?
I believe that like we are not a robot or machine, so we function sometimes at 1,000% capacity, sometimes at 30%. And it's a little bit, I'm having this visual pop up like the way our wolf packs are moving through, um, for example, Snowden fields, where the way they will structure is that there will be a leader that will push and make the path, and the pack will be following. But around every 15 to 20 minutes, the leader will shift, allowing the rest of the pack to stay rested while the leader is going 1,000%. And it's a little bit about what you're asking: talent, the mindset, and the consistency. Your talent. Everybody has talent in one way or another. Is a question of, can you tap into it? Can you unpack it? Can you stay true to it? Can you discover it? And for some people it just comes out, right? But some need to discover, and you need to try different things to see where the talent lays.
Yeah, but sometimes I would like just a slightly tiny bit to add a small thing, which is I think
Yeah,
personally is very important. Not always talent can help you out to achieve or have
absolutely.
or focus on anything at all. Might be material, personal, or whatever. So that's why I was thinking while I was creating this question, because talent might be okay if you are lucky enough to have the talent, like innate talent, that's fine, but it's not everything. Consistency, it's so very important. I will never stop
Yes.
saying, repeating, and again and again and again. Consistency is like an educational training, constantly has to be and build within you, in your mind as a mindset, in your habits, consistency in everything, in sports or in everything you do, in your leadership roles, or might be as an entrepreneur. It's really, really important. And of course, mindset as well is very important, because your personality is your personal reality, literally, in that sense. And what I mean by that, what you believe, that you are gonna get, to make it really short. So the mindset is very important. So we have to pay attention, of course. And the talent, for me, it is important, because some things might come to you when you have the talent. It comes to you so naturally. You don't have to force yourself, right? When you have the talent as such. So it's wonderful. It's incredible. It's like, oh my God, have the talent. I have everything. Well, no, it's not like quite like that. Yeah, at least not from my point of view. You have to build on top other layers to, again, as I just mentioned earlier, in order for you to kind of achieve that completeness of being authentic and original and really truly an entrepreneur and above that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I 100% agree with you, because you take the words out of my mouth, in the sense that if we had to put numbers on it, the mindset would be number one, because through mindset is leading to consistency. You cannot achieve, you can be consistent, but if your mind is not in it and you're not putting the power of belief into that consistency, it's maybe not resulting exactly in where you want. The talent is a massive plus for your career. But if your mindset or your consistency is not there, then it's no use. Then you just have the talent in that sense. So,
Totally. So, what does self trust look like in your daily decisions, Val?
well, self trust comes from, like, it's born from a certain aspect of your inner dialogue. The decisions. So you have the inner dialogue, then you have the trust, and then you have the decision, which is the action in a way, right? So you have to, in many ways, build it somatically. And conditioning the body is really essential. Conditioning the body,
Ooh,
first of all,
absolutely.
for yourself to
Yeah.
believe, your nervous system to believe, okay, I am reliable.
Exactly.
So between your masculine and feminine energy, saying, okay, I am stable, I trust myself. If I say I will do this, I will
But your
do it.
body has to feel the same, guys. So it's not just about the mindset here. The mind is of a such, but
Yes.
because it's a interconnection between our body and our mind. And again,
Yes.
they are interconnected, literally, physically,
Absolutely.
biologically, in every way sense possible. So that's why, as we just mentioned earlier, I just want to remind to everyone that everything what is in our mind, in our brain, because they're two different things, it's real, and it is part of your reality because it's your reality. It belongs to you, right? But it doesn't mean that if it's your reality, it's mine as well. We definitely have two different realities, because we are looking in
Absolutely.
different ways and different brains with different angles. The body has another brain, literally, for others, to make it short. And it's important for people to know this, because we tend nowadays, currently, again, I return to what we talked earlier. uh, tend to stay so much into our head and totally forget and not paying attention to our body needs.
Absolutely.
And it's so sad. So sad. I see so many people struggling with this part of them. I have my goosebumps right now, because it's just, I totally understand it's hard to, being aware of this part as well, because we have so many, informations, too many even, and we are so occupied of analyzing mentally all this information constantly, because we are living within this society.
Really, really an important factor what you're saying, because the analyzing part is not necessarily what we should be relying on. You know, yes, we have many different things and over information, but actually the time we live in now is really about learning how
Yeah, I
to
agree.
choose and disconnect.
That's
And
the
the
thing, because you
actual
have to choose what to do with those information, main information that you just mentioned earlier. Exactly. That's my point. Exactly.
Yes. And the body, the mind has to have to be connected is absolutely essential. Because if your mind is saying, I'm doing great, but your body is operating on a safety mode, you're not doing great. You're creating a field of stress around you. And then it's only a repetition of that stress pattern.
Exactly.
So it's very much, yeah, because it brings me to my next point, like honoring your first signals of the body. If you're sitting, if a person is sitting and is overworked and is saying, I can do it, oh, I have a deadline, but the body is falling asleep and shattered, like the best thing to do is actually just a step away. The part of self-trust, this is at the foundation of
Mm-hmm.
self-trust aspect, first with yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And making decisions that are not validated by outside. So it's back, we're going into sensorics of
Mm-hmm.
our internal bubble. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And another two things I would say, jump by impulse. Tap into that energy, just jump. Of course, evaluate if it's
Yeah.
necessary.
Is the case or the scenario, case scenario, right? Case scenario.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course, we're talking in a positive, vibrational actions here, but
Yeah.
listening to the impulse is pretty key. And
Mm-hmm.
last but not least, quick recovery. You know, because by working more consciously, more mindful with our lives,
Ooh.
doesn't mean doesn't mean that we will not meet barriers or challenges. In fact, the more we become awakened, the
The
more
more we have
we'll
those.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, we will meet it, because many parts of our constructed reality, what was familiar, just like when we move to a new country, moving to a new mindset, there is that element of discomfort where where you have some overlap in time where you becoming
Yeah.
familiar with other ways, right?
Yeah.
So quick recovery uh, comes with conditioning of reconditioning your mind of not being only goal driven as a
Mm-hmm.
process, seeing the benefit of each situation. If something didn't work out, maybe it's for the better. maybe better opportunities are coming along. So reconditioning the mind that just because something happened or barrier happened is not your dead end. Turn around, look another way.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, because it's so easy. Shifting your perspective in that sense. I was just talking with another guest, like early on. Your view can become so broad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, in that sense, because you are able to notice because you have more information as such by noticing, okay? So you become an observer as such. You have to become an observer of yourself and then of your life, of others as well. It will be so natural to you to be just an observer, okay? So the fact is that you just step back and just observe where you are, what you're doing, what you're not, your behaviors, your patterns, and where you might those patterns leads to towards what or where your intuition, as you just mentioned earlier, change so much, like totally. Guys, this is incredible. This is not fiction, this is science. Literally.
You're tapping into some really, really important messages here, because when we are focusing back to this goal outside situations, we are immersed into this identity, thinking that everything that happens to us is like one with us. But learning and retraining to work as an observer frees up so much sensorics that all of a sudden you can watch things pass you and not affect you emotionally. Because how do we mm, vote for certain realities to start to become true is by activating an emotion in a situation. So learning not to activate that emotion from this point of view allows us to maneuver much more fluidly in.
Bruce Lee, it was an amazing, supernatural person as a human being. He was so powerful, like literally mentally and physically as such. He was unbelievable. He achieved such a huge point from all this perspective that for me, looking at him, even nowadays, because for me it's a source of inspiration, and I'm not kidding. uh, Bruce Lee, for me, it was an amazing persona. You can see and hear this quote of him like all the time: be like water. What that means, will go with the flow. But if you think about it, reflecting upon this and its importance, like it's so fabulous. It's so nice. It's so powerful. It's like, go, as you just mentioned, go with the flow. Learn to go with the flow. That means also with your body. Help your body go with the flow. Your mind, your emotional state, your ideas, your goals, your objectives, everything has to go with that flow.
It's really, really essential. And, you know, it's interesting this conversation that we are having because it is just flowing from one aspect to the other, and the information is coming out so fluidly. And going with the flow essence is kind of not having that tight grip, slipping away, because every tight grip creates resistance.
Yeah,
Every time they
exactly.
hold on to something, oh, but I wanted it to happen that way, or I thought this should happen, or I wanted to be like that in that situation, is a tight grip. And actually it creates a framework that limits you to step away and
Thank
look at
you.
other opportunities.
Yeah, yeah. But this is
Absolutely.
because, for me, to make it sure, because you don't accept the new reality, your new
Yes.
identity. So
Yes.
that's why that friction, that
Yes.
kind of friction. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Val. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yes.
agree.
Incapacity, not only to accept, but even to get to see
To
it.
acknowledge,
Even,
yeah, to
yeah,
acknowledge,
even
yeah,
acknowledge the
yeah,
possibility of that,
yeah,
you know?
definitely,
Yes.
absolutely. So, what habits or values do you think truly support long-term growth, Val?
Commitment to flow like water, like we just mentioned, is a
Mhm.
very important factor because You can map out structures and ideas and business plans and your life goals and so on, but there's no guarantee that it will go that way. You can have an amazing plan, but if you are sitting in a situation and your mind is not flexible enough to see the opportunities in the moment,
Yes.
there will be a stagnation. And that is the opposite of long term growth. Yes. And of course, commitment, like we said, mindset and commitment, they stay in the center of that too. Yes, it's back to the values. It's actually some essential things. They're not that complicated. We're not inventing a deep plate here.
Yeah.
We are just we are just showing another perspective to
Exactly.
serve and move through.
Thank you, Val. Exactly. Yeah. How do you personally recover after creative or emotional exhaustion? Because sometimes I mean I was just thinking again, yes, I do know you as a person and as a professional entrepreneur, but besides that, I notice as well, because we also work together, right? Notice that being a creative with such a huge immersive moments, periods, because you might have to, I know it's just an example, and you please correct me, you have a deadline to create a whole collection because you have to go to Paris. So that pressure of emotional exhaustion like can be sometimes overwhelming. So that's why I'm asking this. Yeah.
Well, first point to say that I really aim to create such a structure in my life today where I am not meeting such conditions. Because as soon as I am starting to sense that I'm going into those conditions, there are, of course, tools. And these tools consist of stepping away from the noise, creating that silent space for yourself.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, same here, guys. Silence is a very necessary must have in your life.
Absolutely,
Yes, absolutely.
absolutely. Wild nature, sleep, healthy food, but first of all, the abstraction from the noise. And guys, tune to Mirella's last post because it's very much on point with these actions and advice.
It's not even a meditation. It's actually as a reminder or slash it can be also a learning process for many others that they actually not tuned into something like that. And that means also being aware of your somatic, might be pain, might be injuries, might be not being self-aware of your body needs, and expressions and so many other things that, yeah, by using all these elements, I'm trying to give to people for free
Yes.
at least some of those things that I personally think that are so necessary to just be aware of that they are there and they can use it in case they might be willing and open towards
Tools.
healing.
Tools.
To healing. Yeah, they are literally tools. So it's not quite about a meditation as such. It's just a tool for them to better feel, understand, be aware, etc., about their body and about their mind. And that interconnect with the habits because it will lead there. It will give you the possibility, guys, possibility of being self-aware of your main patterns at the end of it, or slowly. It depends of how the rank of your focus in order for you to learn or something or to understand something. So,
No, absolutely. I think we misheard each other in terms of meditation, but yes, 100% tools. And they are relevant for anybody.
yeah, that's the thing.
And
Exactly.
it really it really is those steps because how else can you in a form of stress or overexhaustion what does that tell you about your body? It means your body is in shock. It
Yeah.
means your nervous system is pumping on a fly and by kind of mode. And that is the first essential thing for the body. Yeah.
I have create this questionnaires on the community, YouTube community for
Yeah.
my subscribers for this particular podcast episode. So therefore, I would like with you, together with you, to discuss a slightly tiny bit about this and just tell me what is your opinion about. So one of those questionnaires, it was related to this main question: where do you believe the real work needs to start? They have had the two options. One option was the environment, the context, okay, and the second was the identity, which is the self, right? We had to talk about this the whole time, me and you, right now. So most of people, they choose the environment, the context. 67%, almost 70%, they have choose the environment, the context. What do you think about this?
Well, I 100% think it is the self. I 100% think it's the self. Why? Well, because if you don't have
See, that's
yourself,
why I'm also sharing with you, because most of people, I'm not saying it's wrong or good, because again,
no,
it's
no,
so personal, but
it's personal, but it's very easy. It's like being in a relationship with a team or whatever. Like, if you don't have yourself in place, how can you lead? How can you manage? How can you do good for the environment?
yeah, exactly, exactly. So
So
obviously it starts from the self. One of the main reason I had start this podcast, I don't even want to call it podcast. For me, it's more than that. It's personal and yes, even professional, but it's more than that. It's a project for me. It's not just a podcast, mission even, because it is about the self. It is about creating this awareness, self-awareness of who we are and how we are and how we might even want to be or become, in that sense. So at least give the opportunity, give the tools that actually might matter for someone. It's not for everybody, because everybody has their personal path to go through or to go towards, but it's fine though for those who actually are willing to.
well, absolutely agree with you on that. It's just you know, environment is just such a big. It's such a macro scale.
But the environment, you can create your environment. That's the whole thing. So again, it starts from the self.
Yes, you
That's what I'm
create your
trying to
environment.
say.
Exactly. And you are always responsible for the environment around you in the context not of nature, but in the context of your energetic field. So it's, yeah, I think something to bring the audience for awareness if they're not already.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have another questionnaire. This is the second one that I have choose to use it for this podcast episode with you. So I have asked them, what is holding you back most right now? And I gave them a couple of options. The first one was fear, not skills. This is the first one. Second, identity confusion. Third one, external expectations. And the fourth one was I'm ready, just not clarity. Just need clarity, sorry. So the highest point, it was actually the last one. I'm ready, just need clarity.
The comment that I would say for this ready but need clarity could be an acceptable answer from the context of yes, they might not have clarity within themselves, but maybe it's okay. Maybe sometimes we need to accept the different states and statuses of ourselves and just allow for them to be until they form and not put the pressure to have clarity right now, because you can have an impulse energy but maybe not be clear where it is directing. And
Exactly, exactly.
if you're putting the pressure, oh, I need to go again, I need to take action, you might misdirect it. But if
Yeah.
you stay quiet and you stay balanced and you focus on the things, then the right opportunity will come along. And
Agree.
I call this movement practice in myself the speedy turtle.
That's a good one.
Because to the outside world, it may seem that you're moving like a turtle, but actually, your conscious precision is allowing you to move real
It's
quick.
about control, but not mental control, even like the control again. And I connect to Bruce Lee again. Seriously, this
Yeah.
is my oof, for me, it's a hero, supernatural. That he was talking also about this so very often and try to teach others as well and share it with all of us, among other things, beautiful things. That if you stay steady, that means that you're in control of everything what is concerned you yourself, not even your body, not even your mind, not even your emotion, or mental state, etc. But if you are in control, you have to be in control, not your mind, vice versa, not your mind upon you or on you. So if you give that control to your mind, you are you're totally finished, because you are not even control of all your emotions. Somehow you can actually
Absolutely.
do something constructive or creative or innovative or whatever if you are not in control of your personal emotions.
Absolutely, absolutely. And our mind is sort of, body, mind, and soul. And our mind, well, body, mind, soul, and spirit. But
Yeah.
the mind specifically is kind of preconditioned to push you to make choices for your safety.
Exactly. It's
Not the
to
fact that
defend you and to yeah, to protect you. It was built, and it's still like this, guys.
yeah,
It
yeah.
change. It will never change.
Yeah. Reveal.
We kind of have achieved that point where we have this final reflection. I call it a note to your past self. If you could write a short note to your younger self, what would you remind her about courage, clarity, and trusting your creative voice, Val?
Every moment that you're in, it's a unique moment. So the reminder would be to really try to grasp that moment to its full potential. And doubt is the brakes that doesn't let you get there. So put the take the doubt and put it aside and go for it. Because it will never return. This moment, and
Exactly.
having a mindset that you always do the best you can in the moment, that you have the capacity to do, allows you to take away yourself from a point judge system. We know that school, we don't need a grade.
I
It's a,
agree.
it's a
Exactly.
journey.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
be
Wow.
courageous. Be courageous. Don't compare yourself to others. It's very unique for each individual. And the clarity will come through trusting yourself, and the creativity will be born from taking away the pressure.
If someone wants to reach out to you or Apotheca, how can they do so?
Yes, at this moment in time, I would recommend to just find us on Instagram, apotheker_atelier.
Okay.
And it's a newly, freshly started profile, slowly taking its time, shaping the identity. But just drop us a message there directly, and one of us will get back to you.
Val, thank you so, so very much. It was such a really wonderful journey with together with you
Thank
today. It
you.
was
Thank you.
really perfect, like wonderful. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure to be part of this journey on your end.
Thank you. This episode reminds us that building a meaningful life and career is not about speed or perfection, but about self-trust, consistency, and the courage to keep creating, especially when the path is not fully clear. If you want to reach Valeria or her creations, you can find her on Instagram as Apotheca Atelier. Please support Rewire to Rise by subscribing to the channel. Thank you for listening. Until next time, stay sharp.